Hi, and thank you for choosing DrumApe. In this video I will be talking about how to improve your foot technique and also how to make a really good strike on the bass drum. As I mentioned in my previous video, 3 exercises to improve your foot technique. It's all about using the right muscles for the particular task. It's now time to put these exercises into practice and see how they can be put to the test and used in actual playing. The first thing I would suggest here is to get a feel for the way the spring of the pedal works and try to find the rate of motion that resonates best with the way it's been set up. In my experience, I've found that each setup has its unique velocity, let's call it resonant velocity, at which you're basically riding the spring rather than forcing it into motion. In simple words, if your foot travels up and down with the same speed at which the spring moves the beater, you should reach an equilibrium with it and immediately feel the motion become augmented. I can show this using my hand, and you can also try it on your pedal. The goal here is to reach what is called mechanical resonance, which is the way mechanical clocks work. It is important that you find the resonance rate of the spring and use it to your maximum advantage. A good way to practice this is try to get the beater back all the way to your shoelaces before accelerating it again into the bass drum. Much like with the bouncing of the stick, you would use one bounce to get to the next. Here we use the spring to bring back the beater as far back as possible and convert that energy into the next hit. The next step is to replicate the process of the heel down technique, but now with your leg sustained in mid-air. This is what is commonly referred to as heel up technique, but I think that can be misleading as most people bring their heel way too far up, and that limits the working range of the foot. So my suggestion is to try to achieve this with the heel only a few centimeters or inches above the pedal plate. Perhaps it's best to start with your foot parallel to the floor in order to have some reference and consistency. From here, using your thigh and lower abdominal muscles to keep the leg in the air, try to unlock the ankle joint, and now using your calf muscle, try to follow the pedal up and down using the spring as a guide and never losing touch with the plate with your toes. It is important not to use the whole leg to do this, but your foot only, so keep an eye on your knee, it should not be moving up and down. The next thing to try is actually locking the ankle joint but moving instead the whole leg up and down, again using the spring as a guide and never losing touch with the pedal plate. If we set the foot to be parallel to the floor, we can now observe the motion, which is very much like pumping with a foot pump. Now we have to combine these two motions, but before that comes the twist. Bringing the whole leg up to striking position is very cumbersome and tiring if you use the thigh and lower abdominal muscles to do it. Instead, the initial thrust of the leg upward can be done more easily and swiftly using the calf muscle. It's like jumping on your toes, for a lack of better description. You could practice this on the floor and it would look like this. My suggestion here is to use the calf muscle to thrust the leg up, and once it's up in the air, the thigh takes over. It's not possible to show this on camera, so you would have to sort of feel it out for yourself. The key is for the toes to not lose contact with the pedal plate. Once the leg is up in the air, comes the tricky part. Performing a tap with your foot as you let go with your thigh and allow the leg to drop down. This has to happen simultaneously for the best result. Try your best to use gravity to bring the weight of your entire leg down instead of pressing down, as this is the most efficient way to do this. Also, this way you're not engaging the bigger muscles to complete the strike. So to recap, jump up momentarily with the calf, take over with the thigh, and then let the thigh muscle go and perform a tap on the way down. Be mindful not to overdo this, it doesn't need to happen suddenly, and at all times try to feel out the spring and use it to your advantage. This will become more natural with time, and you'll be able to accelerate the beater more and more, and you will notice a positive change in the bass drum tone and increase your stamina and coordination. The goal here is to use the weight of the leg combined with the swiftness of the tap with the foot to accelerate the beater with highest velocity, but do so conserving as much energy as possible. Some important notes. Once the strike is done, your foot should rest flat on the pedal plate and your whole leg should relax before you perform the whole cycle again. Ending the process before beginning again will give you an opportunity to analyze the tiny variations and adjust accordingly next time. Another thing to mention is when Where exactly you should be pressing the plate? It should be about 3/4 of its length. There is usually a logo there. Be careful not to slide forward to where your toes touch the chain of the pedal. The key here is not to press forward as you make the strike, but rather think about sliding backwards every time. This should equalize things and your foot should remain on the same fulcrum point. I hope this video was useful to you. Please let me know in the comment section how these exercises are working out for you, and if you have any questions I can maybe help with. Please share, like and subscribe. Until next time, thanks for watching Drum Ape.